we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I,
it has been a beautiful couple of weeks down south in the UK, honestly, hitting temperatures of like 13, 14 degrees. In January and February is insane. The flowers are out, daffodils, we've got snowdrops, and even the tulips in our garden started growing back in January, which is not necessarily a good thing, but the warmth has been beautiful. It's made me want to do all of the things and get busy in the house. Just a few things that I've recently bought. These are plug-in wall lights. So I don't have any electrics in my walls at all, but I'm going to be able to put these either side of our bed, and the lead comes down to plug in to the socket, which is so helpful when you don't have electrics inside your wall and you don't want to pay to get those electrics inside the wall. But they're gorgeous. They are from Dunelm. Next up, I got these. I bought these a good 6 to 8 months ago when my plan for the bedroom was different. We were going to go with a dark, moody forest theme in the bedroom, but I was definitely, in two minds, and I have changed my mind since. But I've had these ever since, and now I don't know where to put them. But they are from Desenio. They are stunning prints. But the best thing I've bought this year so far, I can put down to my friend Angela. Chippy Doodle, thank you so much. Do you remember, you guys, I was having problems finding the perfect kind of floor mop or floor cleaner device thingy. I wanted a more eco one where we could add our own liquid and the pads come off, we could put them in the washing machine. And oh my goodness me, Chippy, thank you. She messaged me, she was like, this is what you need. She got it from Amazon. I ordered it straight away. It came. It's amazing. It is robust and it is so strong, and I can actually I can lean on it. I can put some pressure on it to actually get my floors clean. They actually sell it in B&M as well. I bought it on Amazon. It arrived, and then 2 days later I saw it in B&M. I was like, what? Anyway, I got some extra pads to go with it so I can throw them in the wash when one is dirty. It is absolutely perfect, and I am using it almost every day. Okay, let's get the paneling started. Oh my goodness, I have been putting this off for the longest time, but I'm so excited to see this hallway finally done. I got my wood cut at B&Q. You would have seen that in a previous video. I went and got the 9mm MDF, and he cut them in 7cm strips. So I got, out of the massive sheet of MDF, I got him to cut 3 really long strips at 7cm, and then I got him to cut the whole entire sheet in 7cm strips. Now this is the formula. I'm actually going to put it down in the description box, if I'm honest, because I understand that all of my scriggly notes are going to be a little bit hard to understand. You basically want to measure your entire wall. Mine is 254 centimeters. I'm going to use 7 panels, which comes out at 49 centimeters. That's going to give me 6 gaps. Minus that leaves me 205 centimeters on the wall. Divide that by the number of panels, which is 6, and that gives you the exact gap you need between each panel. It is quite straightforward. Once you get your head around it, it is quite straightforward, but I am going to write down the formula in the description box, so when it comes to you guys doing your paneling, you can just go ahead and read that formula, and it is a piece of cake.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things.
These walls were so drunk. They were so drunk. I've always known that this wall was particularly wonky. It was a little bit skew-iffy, and that is because our kitchen is an extension. So technically speaking, where I am right now, that would have been a door into the kitchen. So living room door would have been right at the front of the house. Then where I am right now would have been the kitchen door, But since the extension went in at some point in the distant past, I don't know who did this, but that has left a real wonky finish to this wall. They didn't really finish it flat, so everything was bending and bowing, and that long plank at the bottom was away, like it was coming away from the wall in the areas where the wall just goes in. It was insane, and I genuinely thought at this point, I'm just gonna rip it all off and forget it, because I was genuinely losing my mind whilst I was measuring out in between each panel, and I was loving it. I was loving the way it looked. My goodness me, half of them didn't want to go on the wall because the wall isn't flat, and it was going in right there and then coming out, and yeah, it took a minute. It took me to take a couple of deep breaths to really allow myself to finish this project. I just had to cut off a couple of little offcuts right at the end, because the long panels weren't quite long enough. Just a couple of little offcuts, and it's almost like you can see it on camera right now. It looks like a fishbowl. But yeah, the distance from the coving, the ceiling coving, the distance from there down to the top panel is exact from the left to the right. So measuring this end and then went down and measured from the other end, it is exact. But guys, when I use my spirit level, nothing, absolutely nothing is straight, nothing. But I've got quite a good eye for things that are off and things that are just not quite right. And equally, it wasn't bothering me. I was able to stand back and think, actually, that looks flat, that looks straight, that looks okay. The gaps are bang on, equal, everything was equal. The middle panels were kind of coming away from the wall, but from a distance, my eye was happy, therefore I just let it be. I just left it alone. Now, from this angle, it does look like they're at different heights, even though the skirting board is exactly the same height, the wood is the same, everything is the same. When you come into the house, you kind of can't see it. They look straight, it looks straight. And the reason I want to go into my kitchen is because I want the eye to elongate all the way down. I want it to make it look like it's a really long corridor when it's not so much. But yeah, from this angle, they look different heights, but from the other angle, they're not so bad. So we're going to roll with it. I did the kitchen paneling off camera because, you don't really want to sit through the whole of that. But yeah, so far so good. Now, I've seen so many paneling videos where they finish them off with the rail across the top, with the picture rail or a dado or something like that across the top. And I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. I like these to be totally square with nothing added. But I am going to add a little extra something to make them different. I want them to be a different paneling style to the panels I've got upstairs in my bedroom, and that is just to add in some more cuts. I have got so much wood. I've got 3 times this again, and I figured I've got enough wood to do this, so I just measured in between the gaps, which was the same on each one, and I cut all of the wood to fit the gaps. This is what we're going to look like. Now, I am just slotting them in here with glue on, but I will go round and I will make sure that they are bang on equal distances between the tops and the bottoms. But yeah, let me know what you think of this style. I think it's just going to add a little bit of something.
Hey, I wish you could see yourself just sitting there on my chair.
When it came to filling all of the gaps, oh my gosh, guys, why is polyfiller so messy? You need polyfiller to fill all of the gaps between all of the wood. Wherever wood meets wood is where you need polyfiller. Wherever the wood meets the wall is where you need to cork it. So I have got a lot of polyfiller to do on this one, honestly, and this is where I kind of regretted putting in that central bit of that middle bit of wood, because I was like, I have just literally given myself so much more work. And when you do polyfiller, you really just want to fill those gaps to make it look like a gorgeous seamless panel. But my reality has never been that way. I've never been able to make it look completely seamless, purely because these boards are on the wonkiest possible wall, and B, I think often I'm not really putting enough thought into how much No More Nails I'm putting on. If I put more on one panel than the other, then that panel is going to be sitting a little bit more proud of the other one, which is why you saw me gently, very, very gently, using a hammer to kind of just like bash them down, you know, so that I could get them all at the same depth. But that's definitely not something I'm good at. So I figured I would just polyfiller them and get them all back to where I need them to be. Once this was dry, this was about 5-6 hours later, I went over and sanded every single area where the wood meets wood. I was really just eyeballing it, sanding them over, feeling them all the time to see, you know, are they flat? Does this feel flat? Will this join show up when I paint it? And that's pretty much the whole of the paneling process, just trying to make it look as smooth and as neat as possible. I also did, you don't have to do this, but I also did go over all of the MDF with the sanding. I didn't just want the sanding to be in this one place. So in the end, I did end up going and giving everything a once over with the sandpaper. And honestly, I was so happy with the finish. Even though this project tested me, I'm so happy I persevered. I'm happy I saw it through because I was over the moon with the finish on the joins. They really are my nemesis. They are the one thing that I'm not loving about paneling, is because I always seem to be able to see the joins after I've painted. The trick really is, you know, slap that polyfiller on there and sand back to flat. But I did an okay job this time around. This was the next day, I think. This was like a 4-day project. It was crazy long. This was the next day and it was time to cork. Now, again, corking, not my favourite thing to do. We are corking where the wood meets the wall. All of those gaps, we now want to disguise them, hide them, make it look like one beautifully smooth panel on the wall with no gaps at all. I'm just using this little tool here to scrape back the corking. My thoughts on corking. Honestly, you waste more than you use, and that bugs me. Because once I've got the corking in there, I'm scraping out just to get it so that, you know, the hole is covered, the gap is covered. And then I'm like, but there's so much cork now. I'm wasting so much cork. So yeah, would it be easier to just go in with your finger and you maybe waste less? I truly think so. Cork itself is a sticky, gluey consistency. It's not fun. Getting it on you is not fun. Look, you can see, how bad is that gap? Look, you can see it now. I do go back over it, don't worry. Yeah, it's not fun. This was not my favourite thing to do. The other thing is that the cork itself is being pressurised in the gun. So it's in the gun and it is under pressure. So as soon as you pull away from the wall, it is pouring out of the end. So you need to be really, really quick. And as soon as you finish one bead of cork, pull the back, so the back of the gun will release that pressure. And that's what I had to do in between each one. Like, it was driving me insane. And at this point, I just, yeah, you know when you ever start something and you question your life choices because it's long. I mean, this was long and it tested me. It really tested me. But 3 days later, and it was done. At this stage, this wall is done. The kitchen isn't. This wall is filled, corked, sanded. Everything looks okay. And this is the moment where I wanted to just crack on, get the paint out and start painting this entire wall, focusing mainly on the hallway. And then I was defeated. I absolutely felt defeated, deflated. I was speaking to my friend Maury up in Scotland, and I was showing him how bad the wall was, how crooked the wall was. And he said, obviously this is soft sheen paint up here. The top half is soft sheen and not matte. And I'm painting matte. And he said, don't forget to prepare that wall before you paint matte. I was like, what? Part of my brain was like, does matte go on sheen? I won't Google, I'll just paint it and whatever. And I was like, so I can't just paint this wall now. I can't just paint this whole hallway. I have to paint the wall first before I paint. And honestly, at that moment, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. It has already taken me like 3 days up until this point. So he sent me a video to watch. I'd already watched one, but he sent me a video to watch on how I can prep this wall for painting matte over sheen. And you have two choices. The first choice is to sand the whole wall. Not for me, thank you very much. The second choice is to paint the wall in a special primer that will go over the soft sheen or the satin, but will allow matte to go over the top of that. Serendipity, guys. Serendipity has always been my favourite word, but it's equally my favourite word today, because serendipity, I already had the exact product I needed to get this done. So we can now crack on. Today is Tuesday. That is a day that Tim usually goes to the office, and it's just me and George here. But Tim is not well. He's not very well at all. He's never ever sick. But he is not well. He is coughing and sneezing, and he's really congested. So he is upstairs in bed, wrapped up, and me and George are going to crack on with the painting. But yeah, I haven't. He's taken a COVID test. It's not COVID. But today, honestly, last week, it was a day in the office for everyone, and one of his colleagues came in and he was just like, I'm not feeling well, I've got COVID symptoms. Why would you come in? Having a sick day in the UK is a piece of cake. Like, we are pretty much entitled to unlimited, fully paid sick days. So it's not like you're under any pressure that you're going to lose your job or anything like that. Nothing like that here. And Tim is taking a sick day today, and he hasn't taken a sick day in years. And I'm like, just take a sick day because you can. But no, not that I ever did that. So Tim came home at the end of last week. Now today's only Tuesday, so Tim came home and he said that they gave him a COVID test in the office right there and then, and he tested positive for COVID. What the were you thinking coming into the office? Everyone's got their own thing. There are people going home to care for their elderly parents. Everyone's got a home to go back to, and you could potentially put everyone at risk. Anyway, fingers crossed it's not COVID. He has taken a test. I'm just going to stay out of the way, paint the hall, do what I do best, just crack on with something to keep everyone occupied and keep me occupied. I don't know if you've been able to hear me over George, but yeah, let's get this whole entire wall painted with a Zinza bin. We've actually got the Grandbabies coming to stay tomorrow for 4 days. So I'm really hoping that Tim feels better, because literally he never gets sick. But what I have done, I've bought our grandson a Spider-Man duvet set. Now, bless him, he has grown out of Ben and Holly. He's had a Ben and Holly set for so long, and he's literally 6 this year, guys. So baby boy, I still call him baby boy, he's getting the Spider-Man duvet set, and baby girl is getting Peppa Pig. How cute is this? Honestly, if you guys are in the UK, you'll know, like George at Asda home, oh my gosh, they come through with the bedding. And these were relatively cheap. I think they were £10 each, approximately. And we've put the bunk beds up. That was the other thing. They are ready for the bunk beds because baby girl is 2. Boy is going to be 6 soon. He loved it up there when they came to stay a couple of weeks ago. Baby girl is now in her own bed because she's 2. And they are loving the bunk beds, but we never got her a quilt because they came to visit recently, but it was an unexpected last minute thing. We weren't ready. The bunk beds literally went up last minute. But how stunning is this? It's just so pretty, and it's double-sided. Of course they're all double-sided, but yeah, one side is like big, and then the other side is this little kind of multi-pattern. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Anyway, ooh. This is what I love about the fact that I never had children, couldn't have children, but I'm kind of grateful. I'm just grateful for the cards I got dealt. I mean that genuinely. I'm grateful I never got to have my own. but I get to be Nana and I get to do all of these things. That is all gonna go on a wash today, and that's before I start painting the walls. I just feel like, fingers crossed, Tim is okay and they can still come and visit, because yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting those on the beds, but yeah, it's another little thing. So this is the product I was talking about. This is the Zinza Bin, BIN. It's a primer, sealer, stain killer. I bought this for the living room ceiling. If you don't know, we had a new bathroom fitted. It was a complete disaster, complete nightmare. It all came flooding through the ceiling of the living room. The living room has now got brown, yellow watermarks and stains all over it. This is what you need for those stains. And turns out it's the exact same product you need to prime your walls to be able to take matte. Like, who knew? As soon as I watched this video and he showed this can, I was like, wait, I've got that. Oh my gosh. But this stuff, guys, it is no fun. I mean, it's more fun than sanding. Don't get me wrong. Anything is more fun than sanding. Like, I will even eat kale. Do you know what I mean? I will eat kale before I sand. But it is thick. It's like a thick, gloopy glue. Very, very gluey. I love that it's white, so I can see where it's going on. Equally, it does need white spirit to clean up afterwards, which I was not a fan of. And I would have used a huge roller, but I didn't want to waste a roller. So I am sacrificing a very small roller to be able to get this job done. It just, oh my gosh, it just took so much longer because I was just using a small roller. So this is the Zinza Bin. I am now priming the walls, ready for the matte paint. And boy, oh boy, I know it's going to be worth it. That's the thing. This is future Claire. I know that this is going to be worth it. At this point, I thought, well, let's just get all this down. This is our key holder, like a peg thing that we've had our keys on for years. I've never liked it, but it's always been there, and I thought it's going, and it's not going back up either. So I took the nails out, filled the holes, primed the walls, and it was finally time for the MDF primer. Now, apparently you can use any primer with MDF, but I just thought, I don't know what it is. My brain tells me to use the correct stuff with the correct thing. So I did use the MDF primer. This was fun. Now, this was fun. You know, when you can see the end is near and it suddenly gets fun and therapeutic, whereas up until that point, you're battling with your own brain. Like, should I continue? Should I do this? What have I done? Kind of thing. But yeah, this is where the tables turned and everything just felt like it was coming together, and I was happy with my joins. I was happy with my, my filler. Everything was coming together. it was time for the paint and I was so excited. But guys, listen up when I tell you. The Farrow and Ball paint, like I knew it was expensive and that is why I got a colour match. This is the Elephant's Breath by Farrow and Ball, colour matched at Valspar B&Q in the premium paint. So wipe clean but matte. So it's matte, but yeah, you can actually wipe it clean. Anyway, I bought the Valspar colour matched paint for £50. I bought 2 cans, so it came to a total of £100. It is £100 for the small can of Farrow and Ball. We're talking, what is it? Half a litre? Is it half a litre? Litre. 1 litre? Guys, don't even. Listen, £100. I could never. I have bought 5 litres of paint for £100. That would cost me approximately £500 for the Farrow and Ball paint, just to do my whole way. I was shooketh. Like, I was shooketh to my chorus. I literally went in there and I was like, wait, that can't be real. I was like, £98 for a can of paint? Are you crazy? But hey, listen, each to their own. We do have people out here for whom money is just not an issue. So I totally get it. We're all in different boats. But yeah, they did a great job at colour matching this. And I'm loving the colour. I'm not going to lie, at first I was like, it's exactly the same as the previous colour. I know a couple of you are like, I actually can't tell the difference between Elephant's Breath and your current colour. There is a massive difference, trust me. But in some lights, it looks identical. So the colour on the right-hand side of the screen is the Perfectly Taupe by Dulux. It is a grey, a real cool grey. And the Elephant's Breath is a real warm beige. Greyish. I want to say greyish. It is a beigey brown, a real light colour. But yes, in some lights they look the same. Like, they genuinely do. I'm sorry for my angles here. I'm not the best vlogger, but yeah, getting up and down that ladder was a chore, a real chore. But, you know, I've got pretty toenail varnish on, so it's okay.
I'm on the train headed back to Indiana. The rain is forming into rivers outside, writing down all the things that I miss, and in the letters you take form. No, I won't go back tonight with a habit to the restless me. I'm leaving all that stuff behind. We can start all over in our hometown, running free. It could be everything that we were chasing. I'm impatient just to see how you make everything fall into place. How you make everything fall into place. You see, you make everything. I'm the first one to get off at the station. There's something in the air that I can't place, and now I see a silhouette in the dark. It's like time has stood still. I'm gonna hold you tighter this time around. Now feeling like I need to escape. The world outside only made me numb, 'cause I just wanna be here in our hometown, running free. It could be everything that we were chasing. I'm impatient just to see how you make everything fall into place. How you make everything fall into place. Ooh, yeah, you make everything. It's just like the saying, you don't know what you got till it's gone.
this angle, you can really see that brown now. And honestly, again, when the light shines, it just looks white. It's so bizarre. But it's only when you look up and you see the contrast from the wall to the white ceiling that you can really see this gorgeous color. Now, the paneling will probably need a second coat. I was hoping not to have to do a second coat. I've always found with the Valspar Premium that one coat is enough, especially over a white wall. But the paneling, yeah, it looks a little bit patchy in places. The wall, I think I can get away with it. Now, above the door has not been done yet, and it looks the same. I haven't touched the kitchen at this point because this was all I could do. And you can really see the difference from under the stairs as well. Haven't done under the stairs yet, but the hallway wall is done. The paneling is done. I'm so happy with it. This is now what it looks like as you walk in. So light, so bright, so airy, and this is exactly what I wanted. I then went on Amazon to look for earthy, woody tones in lampshades, and I found this beautiful jute twine. I'm obsessed. I bought 2, so now I've got one for the top of the stairs, one for the bottom of the stairs. Let me know your thoughts. And then I got distracted because this happened. Honestly, I couldn't even sit down. I was so buzzing. I kept going back like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let me try the stairs. I don't know what's wrong with me. This was like getting on for like sunset. And I actually got hold of my carbide scraper that you saw me use on my kitchen worktop. I started scraping the paint off of the handrail and it looks so good. Let me know, would you put an oil stain on there or would you paint it white? I am very tempted to try a stain and tie in with all the woody tones that's going to go on. The rest of the haul is going to wait because of this radiator. Now, I've hated this radiator since we moved in, but never changed it out for a new one. It is massive, unnecessarily so, and it takes up the entire wall in the hallway. It runs from the bottom of the stairs all the way to the front door and barely fits the biggest radiator cover I could possibly find, and it's old. It is rusty, it is old. I'm gonna get it replaced. I have someone coming tomorrow to give us a quote. My plan is to replace it with a much smaller, more energy efficient radiator, so a modern radiator that's a lot smaller, that's just going to fit in this central part with a smaller radiator cover, giving me gaps either side. Now, what I'm going to do there, I don't know if I'm going to put a shelving unit in somewhere to house, you know, all of George's things. But my plan is when you walk in, this is going to be open and airy and bright and spacious. And it's not just going to be dominated by this massive radiator cover. But let me know your thoughts. This is what we started with. This greyish wall, very plain, very simple. And now we have this gorgeous, classy, at least I think it's classy, paneling. The kitchen will be next, but I might not film it. I might just show you the results. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.